ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Continuing with our study of Darshanam, a text for a contemplative text designed to get over three kinds or areas of stagnation. What are they? The first area of stagnation is not remembering the three areas of stagnation. What was that? Yeah, so getting stuck in this Jiva Jagat Ishvara, especially Jiva Ishvarayoho Bhedaha, and then not being able to resolve this difference in a real way, in a way that is there in the everyday. That makes a difference in the everyday. What is the other area of stagnation? Yeah, no, that we already said. No, that's, yeah. You can't double dip with the same Jiva, Jagat, whatever. That is just, that is one point. What's the other one? Huh?
Knower should quit.
Yeah, this is a very important one. So I cannot know Vedanta and retain the knower. Why? Because the assimilation of Vedanta is contingent upon the suicide harakiri of the knower. The knower has to commit suicide, and these texts encourage. These texts are like the cyanide that helps the notion of knowership, I am the knower, iti notion, to just completely resolve, because what this is the knowledge that there is no knower. It's a knowledge without a knower, because as soon as you say knower, that means there is a knower known dyad. So Jiva Ishvara dyad, knower known dyad, that's the second area of stagnation, not understanding that. What is the last one?
You want to experience Brahman.
Yeah, very important. The penchant for experiencing Brahman. He should get an award at the end. Okay? He has become the collective memory of the whole group. So, I want to experience, and they'll drag the word experience because they want the experience to be what? Long. I know I am Brahman, but I want to experience Brahman. If you know you are Brahman, then you will never want to experience Brahman, because the experiencer is Brahman. Whatever you experience is not outside of Brahman. And the experience itself is Brahman. So Brahman is not outside the ken of your experience. And so what we call Brahmananda, the Ananda or the joy, the limitless joy, that is the definition of Brahman. Cannot be outside of the joys that are experienced in the everyday. Because if somebody says Brahmananda is something very special. Somebody told me this, this is what happens when you go to the parliament of world religions, because there's all kinds of people there, everybody comes. And so somebody said that Brahmananda was some kind of a experience where they had some drops came from the back of the head and they tasted it at the back of the throat, sweet drops. I said, are you sure it's not cerebrospinal fluid leaking? Please go get checked up. And this is what you have to say. It cannot be an object of experience. It cannot, absolutely cannot. And it is both the subject and the object, or it's the content of the subject and the object, or we can say it's neither the subject nor the object nor the means through which anything is experienced. Bas, simple. So these are the three areas of Vedantic stagnation. I can only go this much and not very far, because somewhere I get into this pit. Like what is that called? Like a pothole. When you're driving, you get stuck, the wheel gets stuck in one of the three potholes. I know Vedanta, but Ishvara is other than me. I know Vedanta, but I want to experience Brahman. I know Vedanta, but I want to know Vedanta as I know this pen, as an object. These are the three ways in which one stops growing and one settles into a certain complacency. And so this Sad-darshanam, the verses of Sad-darshanam means the correct type of contemplation to get us out of these various ruts, or the verses are designed for that. And alas, we don't have the time to do all 40 or 41 of them, so we are just going to do a little skeleton. But the nice thing is that this has already been taught. It is there on YouTube. I will send Raj and Meera, I will send the playlist and you can share it with everybody, please. And so people can, if you are so moved to study the text verse by verse, you can do that. So in other words, we are not missing out on anything. So there is no need for FOMO. What is FOMO? Fear of missing out. There is no need for FOMO because all the verses are there. Here we are just, this is a little appetizer. We are tasting this so that you will be able to go back, have the discipline, have the interest to go back and study the whole text and be with it and be transformed. Okay? So then, without much ado, the next verse that we are going to be studying is number 15. This is another very nice dhamaka, very nice thing. It just really speaks to us beautifully. This is in the form of an illustration. Bhutam bhavishyaccha bhavat svakale. It sounds like a funeral. Yeah, okay. Nobody has died other than the no worship, okay? And so let's try again. Bhutam bhavishyaccha bhavat svakale. Bhutam bhavishyaccha bhavat svakale. Tadvartamanasya vihaya tattvam. Tadvartamanasya vihaya tattvam. Hasyana kim syat gata bhavicharcha. Hasyana kim syat gata bhavicharcha. Vinaika samkhyam gananaiva loke. Vinaika samkhyam gananaiva loke. This is beautiful. Bhutam means past. Bhavishya. Bhavishya means future. So the past and the future, and there is a chakara there, and the chakara means the present also. So the past, present, and the future, bhavat svakale. Bhavat here, svakale means they are there in their own time. Which is the time they are there in? They are all there in the present. That's the secret. Okay, so I'll tell the answer before so that it's easy to do this analysis. Because when do you regret the past? No. Do you regret the past in the past? No. Because even if you were to say yes, if I were to regret the past in the past, what would have the past been at that time? Present. See, so easy it is. And then, do you have anxiety about the future in the future? No. Because it's impossible other than in, what's its name, in Harry Potter and other such Puranic stories. Other than that, it's impossible to TT. What is TT? Time travel. So therefore, I am anxious about the future when? Now. I regret what I did in the past when? Now. So, Bhavat Svakale means they are all the past, present and future. So, where is the past? Tell me. If we have this kind of an analysis, is there such thing called a past? Say no, that's the answer, okay? Yeah. Is there a past? No. There is no past. And what does Vedanta do? It makes the repast out of the past. That's what it is. The past is had for breakfast. The future is had for lunch. This is abiding in the Vedanta Shastra. Abiding in the present. And how long is the present? What is the length of the present? The present is now, correct? How long is now? Is now over now?
Yes.
No. Don't say yes. If you say yes, I'll have to ask you to come and see me after class. Okay? So, is the now over now? No. Still now. Is it over now? No. Is it over now? No. Is it over now? No. Now? No. Now is what? No. Now is forever. Now is really the forever that you seek. And this verse makes it very, very clear. The now is the forever that you seek. Bhutam cha bhavishyat cha bhavat swakale. In their own time, all these things shine. What is that time? That time is now. How long is now? The length of now is immeasurable. Now, the truth of now is timelessness. The truth of now is totally timeless. That is what is now. Oh, how can you say now is timeless? Because think about it. Are you sad now? Abba. By the time 10 nows went by the time you answered. Are you sad now? No. How about now? No. Even if somebody were to say, yes, I'm sad now, what will I say? That was then. This is now. So the now is free of, we know two things about the now. The now is free of time, A, and B, now is free of sorrow. That means what? Time and sorrow are married together. Sorrow comes only when I buy into and reproduce the concept of time. And when do I buy into and reproduce the concept of time? I buy into and reproduce the concept of time when I do not know my nature as timeless. Because I don't know my nature as timeless, I succumb to time. Why do I succumb to time? Because I associate with a body that is part of the time-space matrix. I associate or identify with the mind that is subject to time. I associate or identify with the I notion that is of course subject to time. Where is the I notion? Where is the ahankara in sleep? Is it there? No. Gone. Ahankara is not there in sleep. Therefore, that means what? I am, the ahankara is not subject to time. Ahankara is subject to time. And the body is subject to time, the mind is subject to time. But I, the watcher of the ahankara, the watcher of the body, mind, sense complex, the watcher of the I notion even, is what? Free of time. When I buy into time, I am buying into sorrow. When I buy into sorrow, I buy some shares in samsara. Samsara, in other words, is just some sorrow or the other. That's all it is. That's all it is. And so, therefore, Bhutam, this is a very famous verse. One of the famous verses here, very important one. And in fact, it has a personal resonance because Pujya Swamiji chanted it once in a lecture long ago. And at that time I said, oh my God, this verse is fantastic. I could not take it down quick enough. So, but I took down most of it, but not fully. And then I said, I have to find the source of this verse. This is amazing. Where is this from? That was my introduction to this Saddarshanam. And then when I went to see Swamiji, he said, yes, this is one of the most important verses of this text. Bhutam Bhavishyat, and it gets better. So this much itself is mind-blowing, because, there is so many connections there which I have taken for granted. I have taken that I am subject to time as for granted. I have taken the fact that I have taken the myth that I am subject to time for granted as real, as a fact. And then I have taken the myth that I am subject to sorrow as a fact, which is not a fact at all. So the connection between that which is timed, and the sorrow. And why is the sorrow time connection? Because everything, including the mosquito that wants to bite you, wants to be timeless, wants to be forever. That's why it bites in the leg when you're not looking. It will not bite right here. What will you do if it bites right here? You will give it instant moksha. It knows. It knows that. It doesn't want to become chutney. And so it will bite where nobody is looking. It also wants to be forever. And that wanting moksha means being forever, is hardwired into every jiva, more so the human being. Because the human being cannot tolerate bondage, which is what? A notion, not an ocean, as we saw yesterday. Okay, so then, tad vartamanasya vihaya tattvam. So now we come to the example that's being given here. And what's the example? The example is this. Very, very interesting. So, the example is that of a, what is that called? Convention, annual convention of mathematicians, Vedic mathematicians. Annual convention of mathematicians is taking place somewhere in a town. Just like you have a conference of this, that or the other. So here is the mathematicians conference. So tad vartamanasya vihaya tattvam. So here the second line means this. Before we get into the example of the mathematicians convention, the second line says that looking at the past and looking at the future without taking into account the present is like the people seriously debating, having charcha, means a lot of serious discussions, where in a mathematician's convention only one thing is missing. What is that? Number one. They don't have the number one, and then what? They are discussing very, very important, complicated equations, but the number one is missing from all their reckonings. What will you call such a convention? Laugh-worthy. Hasyana kim syat. You will laugh at those mathematicians who are acting as though they are very, very brainy and extremely erudite, and they are discussing huge mathematics formulae, and then they are what? They have omitted to reckon in the number one. Is there number two without number one? No. Is there number three? No. Can you say that there are prime numbers without the number one? No. Without number one, there is no mathematics at all. That number one, the centrality of number one to a mathematician's convention is like the centrality of the present to the knowledge of Vedanta. So here we are discussing the past and the future with great seriousness. Even after a Vedanta talk, immediately if there is a little time to socialize, congregate, what happens? Oh, what happened that day? Oh, I'm having these issues. I don't know, anything. Whatever one asks, immediately one goes to the past or one goes to the future. Always it is like that. Very, very difficult to remain in the present. Yet, without the present is the backbone of the past and the future, just like the number 1 is the backbone of any conference on mathematics. And so, without number 1, if people are having, these people are having a convention, we will not call them erudite scholars. What will we call them? Fools. Fools in scholarly clothing. So, here also we will not call the people who are only interested in the past and the future, what? Anyway knowledgeable, because they are discussing in the past and the future without the adhishthana. The adhishthana means the basis, the truth, which is the present. The present is you. The present is free of sorrow. The present is free of regret. The present is free of anxiety. The present is free of the past and the future, because the present becomes as though canvas upon which the past and the future unfold. So, you being the witness consciousness of seeing the things unfold on the canvas of the present. When the past unfolds on the canvas of the present, what happens? You are untouched. You are the witness. Just like in the movie. In the movie, what happens? There is a hero. We should always take the example of Bollywood movie. Okay, the hero is there, heroine is there, villain is there. And what does the villain do? Villain's job is to bring the hero and the heroine together. Actually, he is doing Samaj Seva. He is doing social service, matrimonial social service, but unappreciated. So what does the villain do? He comes and snatches. He is a pickpocket. He snatches the purse of the heroine, makes off. And the heroine doesn't like the hero very much. She's just rebuffing him. But as soon as this takes place, what does the hero do? Run after the villain, biff, biff, biff. Dishu, dishu, and all these, somebody is making the noises with the mouth. Nobody is hitting anybody. So, and then what? Then the villain is pummeled to the ground, flattened, like a cardboard cutout, and then what? He retrieves the purse and then goes and dusts it off nicely, wipes it with his hanky nicely, gives the shine to it, and then presents it to the heroine. Correct? All this is happening where? On the screen. Then the movie is over. Will you marry me? Yes, of course. And then what? Everybody claps. The projector shuts down. What do you see? A blank screen. When the villain was running, was the screen moving? No. Screen doesn't move. Adhishthana. Without screen or any surface, there is no movie. So Chalachitra. Chalachitra means movie. In the olden days also they had this. They would kind of have these cartoons, and then they would on small little rolls of paper, and they would go like that. It was like that. And then, so the Chalanachitra, when you see any kind of a movement is exciting. Stillness is not. Who wants stillness? Nobody will raise their hand. That's boring. Chup-chap, sitting down. What's the fun in that? I want to be the mover and shaker. Okay, I'm not the mover and shaker, I know, but I want to be around, rub shoulders with the movers and shakers. I want to be in the action. I want to be an activist. I want to change the world, or at least the family. So I want to do all these things. I want to move, I want to shake, I want to do this. Stillness. Nobody is there to Nobody is there, in other words, to appreciate the screen. Nobody says, oh, what a lovely patient screen, which is, every week is just projecting one horrific story after the other, one comedy after the other, one tragedy after the other, one scary movie after the other. Look at this screen, how lovely, how unaffected is it? Does anybody even bother to look at the screen? No, we take it for granted. And the screen is Atma, myself. I am the vast canvas upon which the world events are displayed. In me rises the Jagat, by me it is sustained, in me it resolves. And what is this me? Not the miserable me attached to this, identified with this body, mind, sense complex, but what? The I that is free of that, the observer, the witness of all that. That is who I am. I have to make friends with this screen, that stillness which is me. A caveat here, because if we say stillness is Atma, then what about the movement? Then we say movement is not Atma. No, movement is Atma. Movement is not opposed to I. Stillness is not opposed to I. That which is the truth of the stillness and the observer of the movement is the I. So then why are you asking me to appreciate the screen? Because if I don't appreciate the stillness, I cannot appreciate the movement. This is very basic. I have to appreciate the stillness as I, so that I don't get taken off or carried away by the movement. If I don't have the bearing in the stillness, what will happen is that I'm hijacked by the movements. And then I don't have any bearings. I don't know where I am. I don't know who I am. That's why I say, oh, I'm overwhelmed. I have too much to do. I'm in the spate of time. So the movie time and the movie place, all this unfolds on the screen, which is free of time and space. The movie screens in the theaters don't really give the proper example. In the 70s and 80s, in rural India, once a week, they would stage a movie. They would get the reels, some old movie. New movies never come to the villages. And so there would be a tattered screen put together, and on movie night, everybody would sit, and the children were asked to sit in the back because, on the other side of the screen, so that they would make noise too much and disturb the adults. So as children, we saw the movie backwards, but we didn't care. It was fine. It was fine for us. And then there would be what is called the interval. There would be a 15-minute break, and sometimes there would be a break between reels. They didn't want the children running around and casting shadows, so we were asked to sit quietly on the other side. So we would sit quietly on the other side, and then when the time came for the reel to be changed, I would be fascinated along with my little friends. Oh, this is just a tattered piece of cloth. We would go touch the wall, the cloth, the canvas. We would touch the canvas incredulously. What happened to the hero? Where is the pickpocket? Where is the heroine? What happened? What happened to there was grass here. There was a house here. Nothing. Just a plain screen. And then again they would ring a bell. We would go and sit in place very excitedly, and the next reel would be fed. First the whole this screen would be lit up with the projector, and then it would say 9, 8, 7, 6, and we would say it loudly along with that. And then the movie would start again. If I don't know the screen, I cannot appreciate, there cannot be a movie. I cannot appreciate the movie. If I identify with the movie, then I will be on the roller coaster of sorrow and happiness, which are not alternating cycles, by the way. If some people say, oh, sorrow and happiness are alternating cycles. If they were alternating cycles, no problem. Because if I'm in sorrow now, what do I know? What will come next? Happiness will come. Then sorrow will come. No. Pujya Swamiji would say, that's not how it is. The person is dukhi, sukhi, dukhi, sukhi. This is what it is. Dukhi means sorry. Sukhi, happy. It's not alternating cycles at all. And so therefore, I better spend some time getting to know the screen. As what? As me. This is the verse. Very, very beautiful. Hasyana kim syat. Isn't it laughable? Gatabhavi charcha. The serious charcha of what has gone. Charcha means discussion. The discussion of what has gone and what is yet to come. Isn't that laughable? Why? And how is it like? Vinaika Sankhyam, Vina Eka Sankhyam, without the number one. Ganana. Ganana means the counting. Mathematicians' conference. Iva loke. Iva means as though, like. That's the comparison here. So just like it is laughable to have a mathematic conference without what? Without the number one. Similarly, any kind of a discussion of the past and the future without taking into account oneself as the present is indeed laughable. Very beautiful and important verse. And from here we'll go to the 18th one. Ajnasya vignasya cha vishvamasti.
Ajnasya vignasya cha
Vishvamasti. Purvasya drishyam jagadeva satyam. Purvasya drishyam jagadeva satyam. Parasya drishyashraya bhutamekam. Parasya drishyashraya bhutamekam. Satyam prapurnam pravibhatya rupam. Satyam prapurnam pravibhatya rupam. Ajnasya vignasya cha vishvamasti. Purvasya drishyam jagadeva satyam. Parasya drishyashraya bhutamekam. Satyam prapurnam pravibhatya rupam. So both the people. Who are these both the people? Agnya. Who is Agnya? Ajnani. Ajnani means the ignorant one. Short form Agnya. Agnya. Agyasya. For the Agnya, for the ignorant one. Ignorant of what? Self. What else ignorance is there? It's all ignorance of the self. That's what matters. So the one ignorant of the I is called Agnya. Vigya. Who is Vigya? The one who has knowledge of the self. So the Jnani and the Ajnani, for both of them, there is a world. The Jnani also lives in a world. You cannot say the Jnani is walking on air. Correct? Or the Jnani is living in some other realm. You see the Jnani comes, the Jnani talks, the Jnani eats, the Jnani sleeps. You see the Jnani in the same world as the Ajnani. But both of them share a world. What kind of a world? A world that has nothing to do with one another. This is an elucidation of the verse in the latter half, towards the end of the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. A very intriguing verse is there. And what is that? The intriguing verse there is that the world into which, is there a problem? Should I stop? Yeah? Okay. So there is an intriguing verse there. And what is the verse? That the world in which the Jnani is awake, the whole world is what? Sleeping. Asleep, fast asleep. Into which world the Ajnanis are awake, the Jnani is snoring. Yasyam jagrati bhutani sanisha pashyato munehe. For the seer, the sage, seeing means the all-knowing one, the seeing one, the one that knows I am not this body, mind, sense complex, the one who is established in this knowledge without doubt, error, fear, vagueness, etc. That one, the world in which she or he inhabits has nothing to do with the world into which the Ajnanis are awake. What are the worlds of the Ajnani? Malls. Mall. What is mall? Yeah. Retail therapy. Okay. Yeah. Mall. How do you spell mall? M-A-U-L. Because that's where you go to be mauled of your pocketbook. Alright. And then from mall to ball. Some other kind of entertainment. B-A-W-L. That which makes you cry at the end anyway. This is the world of most people. Most people getting up on the Sunday morning don't say, let's attend a talk by Arsha Vidya Center. Let's do that. Nobody says that. Very, very, very few people will make it. This doesn't even appear as a choice on the radar of choices. What does one do on a Sunday morning? Preferably not get up at all. Okay? Until noon, by which time you wish good afternoon, there is no good morning. So by mistake, if you are awake, because how long can you sleep anyway? So by mistake, if you are awake, what do? So many other things to do. Catch up on phone calls, call all the people in other countries, call all the people in this country. What do you talk about? First, it's nice. How are you? How are you? Okay, fine. Everything is okay. You know, how is the family? How are the children? Yes, yes, yes. Wonderful, wonderful. After that, where does the talk flow? Where does the talk go? You know what you said last time I did not like. You know what you did last time? That was not correct. You know when we visited last time, you didn't even take care of us properly. This is where it reduces, the talk reduces to complaints or about the other person, or if not, you use the other person as a leverage to complain about the third person. This is how you get close to person B. Person A complains about person B, two persons C. So person A and C get very close because what is happening is person B is getting bashed up. Then what? Person A calls person B and complains about C. Person C calls person B, complains about A. And so on and on and on. This is the Sunday morning. What is that? This is a Sunday morning Sahasranama. For most people, weekend Sahasranama. 1,000 names. This is how it is. Or one gets up and goes somewhere, something. What else is there to do? You go to eat, you go to shop, you go, find a movie to see, or you go to a cafe, sit with some more people. Again, you eat or drink or shop. And this is what is called Ajna. This is the world of the Ajna. This does not mean that the Jnani should not go and eat at a restaurant. That's not the idea. The idea is this, that this is the Kevala. Kevala means the only kind of preoccupations. The preoccupations are having to do with objects of sensory enjoyment. You see, all the restaurants in the Bay Area. How many restaurants are there in the Bay Area? If you ate in a new one every day, even after 1 year, you will not exhaust. That many restaurants are there, just even in San Francisco itself. Forget this side of the bay. Okay? And so that means what? That means there is a new culinary experience every single day. Now, what is experiencing this culinary delight? Huh? Not the body. You're feeding the body. No. What is experiencing? The tongue. Jihva. How long is the tongue? 3.5 inches. The longest tongue. Average tongue is 3 inches. 3-inch tongue. Because once you swallow what you have eaten, even the most delectable cuisine, you might as well be on a feeding tube. You don't taste it. It's gone. It's swallowed. So the whole restaurant industry is what? For 3.5-inch small little organ called organ of action called tongue. Jnanendriya, karmendriya, both. Sense organ called tongue. Think about it. What a waste. And that's why that's why it is. This is not something. That's why people just sort of keep going, thinking that okay, I want this wonderful gourmet something, and what is that? Some star you get, Michelin star. You get one Michelin star, and to keep up the star, you have to see stars. It is so difficult. And then you get this Michelin star, and then more people want to come, and all these things. Nothing wrong in going and having a good time. But to base this on one's whole life, this is what the overindulgence or the kevala, the predominant dependence upon the sense organs to produce happiness is what is being questioned in this verse. The predominant dependence on the sense organs. Same thing with this music. Now, before at least, people were mindful about buying things, because in the olden times you got records. Now you got, later on people purchased CDs. Then you had some kind of a thing to play it in. Now nothing is needed. Nothing is needed. All you need is your phone and some account in one of those, whatever those are, podcasts and the places, all those things. You just subscribe and then you can just listen. Why do you want to listen? I want to drown out the difficulties of the past and the future in heavy metal sounds. This is what I want to do. Same thing. I want to see a movie. I want to do this. Why? Because I cannot handle myself. In the Kathopanishad, therefore, Lord Yama laments, Paranchikhane vyatrinat swayambhuhu parak pashyati na cha antaratmanam na pashyati. The person does not have the desire to look into the Atma, not look at the Atma, because the Atma is not a thing to look at. Look into the Atma. There is no Atma Vichara possible, because one is hijacked by the sense organs and the organs of action. And so, Kaschid Dhiraha Antaratmanam Aichat Avritta Chakshuhu Amritatvam Icchan. One person out of the pack, the whole pack, Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschid Yatati Siddhaye. One person strives for what? Strives for freedom among thousands and thousands of people. Bhagavad Gita says at the beginning of the 7th chapter. And so similarly here, one person, it takes one person so to avritta chakshu, to as though rotate the eyes within, go deep within rather than just be on the surface level, like a butterfly flitting from here to there. Because, and if you say, what do Vedantins have about movies and restaurants? I don't understand. Why not have a little bit of samsara and a little bit of moksha? Come on, let us have both of them at the same time. It's like saying, I want night and day at the same time. Is it possible? No. Can't do that. It's like saying, I want to live and die at the same time. That's also not possible. Both are opposed to each other. So samsara and moksha, little bit of samsara, a little bit of moksha, dream on darlings. That's all we have to say. Not possible. And so what is needed is a withdrawal. A withdrawal of the contact of the sense organs from the sense objects. That is what, like even Kurmongani Vasarvashaha, the Bhagavad Gita describes this withdrawal of the Jnani like this. Yada samharate chayam Kurmongani Vasarvashaha. So just like the tortoise, any of them example will do. At will, what does it do? It retracts everything. And all you see is a little house. It goes into its condo, okay? And you don't see anything else except the condo. Nobody is home. It won't answer the door. And so too, the Jnani is able to disconnect from the objects of delight at will. So that means what? Even if he or she connects to the objects of delight, that there is no dependence on that object for the delight. A delighted person, naturally delighted person, encountering the objects makes no difference. Objects are there. I am the delighted person. So if I encounter an object of delight, then I can't be doubly delighted because I'm already infinitely delighted. So this is infinity plus delight is still infinity. Infinity minus ice cream, still infinity. So I am enjoying myself, and when I enjoy other things, they are just an extension of the enjoyment of myself, whereas the Ajnani depends on the objects as though the whole life depended on it. So that's why there is control. Everything has to go exactly like how I have planned. Otherwise the vacation is ruined. Otherwise the experience is ruined. Otherwise the friendship is ruined. Otherwise this is ruined. Everything has to go exactly as I want, because in my world there is no room for the unexpected. If I am leading my life that way, what is that? Bhagavan and Bhagavati are having a good laugh. Yes. That's what it is. Because what is life other than the unexpected? Unexpected. We have to learn to expect the unexpected. That is why we have a sentence, Atithi Devo Bhava. What is Atithi?
Yes.
Yes, we say guest, but actually it means the one who drops in without an appointment. We don't have that. It's an endangered species, the Atithi of the past. Endangered species, because who comes without an appointment? Even if somebody comes with an appointment, sometimes you are not at home. So what to talk of coming without an appointment? Without an appointment is just not at all a possibility. And so in the olden days, however, it was. Before you ate your meal, you had to go outside, look to the left, look to the right. Koi hai? Is there anybody who is hungry? Somebody would say, yes, please come. You would bring them inside ceremonially, give them food, wash their feet, give them a little dakshina, send them. And then you sit down to eat. This was how the glory of the ancient tradition was. And what did it do? It cut the cords of depending upon this meal, and this is my food and I cooked the food. That ownership wasn't there. And when that food was shared, it became very much spreading that joy that was there. And more than this, more importantly, this practice of Atithi Devo Bhava, be the one to whom the guest is an incarnation of Bhagavan. What this did was that it kept me flexible. It keeps one flexible to expect the unexpected. When the unexpected comes, because the guest is unexpected, I don't know who is coming, I don't know how many people are coming. Even now in India, things are changing fast, but even now we'll find that It is rude to ask people how long. If somebody says, I'm coming to your house, it's very rude to ask, how long are you going to stay? You have to use ingenious methods to find out the length of the stay by looking at the suitcase. Carry on? Okay, weekend. Okay, they'll go. But then, okay, the suitcase is a little bigger than a carry-on and not so big, so then what to do? There is a vagueness. You can't ask how long you're staying. Atithi Devo Bhava. You're supposed to expect the unexpected. So what do? You find out through different ways. You can ask some ingenious questions. Too bad you're not staying for my son's graduation. What is it now? January. When is graduation? May. And the guest says, oh, I wasn't planning to, but now that you've mentioned it, I'd like to stay. And, in the West, we have really a lot to learn. We can't tolerate anybody, even for a weekend, really. Even though we have our own rooms, we can't tolerate anybody in our spaces. Oh, this person didn't pick up after themselves. Oh, this person didn't put away the same thing where I would have put stuff away. We have forgotten how to share. We have forgotten how to care. We have forgotten that when we are able to allow somebody to be in their space, nothing happens to them. We grow. The atithi becomes, expecting the unexpected becomes important for my growth into abidance of this Vedanta. This is the difference between ajna and vigna. The ajna is dependent upon controlling the environment and controlling one's life in order to produce what they think is a sense of normalcy or delight. The vigna, the world of the vigna is already delightful. The vigna's world is delightful despite the vignas. What is vigna? Obstacles. Yeah, this is what it is. So ajnasya cha vignasya cha vishvam asti. Both of them have their own world. And what is the world here? The world here is purvasya, means for the first one. What is the first one? Ajnasya, for the ajna. What is the word for the ajna? Purvasya drishyam jagadeva satyam. Drishyam jagat eva satyam. Drishyam jagat means the seen things, the objectifiable things is alone the reality. No other reality than what I can touch, hold, taste, smell, look at, hear. That is the reality. So sad because all of them are fleeting. But when I just put all my, all the premium there, and when I'm investing in the seen world, then what? I am sad. I have just taken out a unending, forever subscription to sorrow without knowing it. This is what happens. You know how sometimes there is some kind of an advertisement, 30-day free. And then after that what? They have your credit card number. They keep renewing this without you knowing. So similarly, one's subscription for sorrow keeps on getting renewed without one's knowledge. So sad. This is the ajna. And why does my subscription to sorrow keep getting renewed? Because I am banking on and buying into the finite. Not only I'm buying into the finite, because there's nothing wrong with buying a piece of something that is going to end. But I'm buying into the finite thinking that is infinite, or I'm buying into the finite trying to make it infinite. This is the problem. Can the finite ever become infinite? No. Whereas the Vigna's world, let us see. So, Purvasya Jagadeva Satyam Drishyam Jagat, the objectifiable world alone is Satyam. Whereas Parasya, the former, and now Para means latter. For the latter, Drishya Ashraya Bhutam Ekam. The latter knows the following. Drishyasya Ashraya Asti. Very nice alliteration. Drishyashraya. So the Drishya means the objectifiable world, the world of objects, the world of the finite has a place of refuge from where it comes, by which it is sustained, and unto what it goes back. So the Vigya takes that to be the real, takes that to be the reality rather than the seen world. You don't stop at the seen world, you go to the unseen world, which is the truth of you. And what is this unseen world? Brahman. This is non-objectifiable, unseen, not an object of sound, sight, hearing, whatever it is, taste, smell, etc. And that is the world which is one. Ashraya Bhutam. The Drishya is not the truth. The Drishya depends on that, and that is alone the truth upon which the Drishya depends. What does the Drishya depend on? The Drishya depends on Adrishya. That which cannot be objectified. How do we know? Because that is what it is. Everything sarvam khalvidam Brahma. We know this. Brihadaranyaka Vakya. Everything is Brahman. And what? Anything that is seen is Brahman. Anything that you touch is Brahman. Anything that you taste is Brahman. And anything that you experience is Brahman. And so, if I stay at the level of the what I touch, what I see, what I smell, what I taste, then I have a very shallow enjoyment, because as long as the contact between the sense organs and the sense object is maintained, usually at a high fee, then at a high cost, then only I'm happy. Sometimes even then I'm not happy because the mood is off. And so therefore, as long as the contact is maintained, I'm depending upon that contact of the sense organs and the sense object, or the subject with the object. Subject-object fusion has to take place for the happiness to be produced. If this is my feeling, then I will be forever unhappy. Because there is many a slip between the cup and the lip. Many a slip. We cannot even say how many slips are there. And so therefore what? So therefore, I look at that unchanging truth, because of which everything is what it is. And that is what makes one a Vigya rather than an Agya. And then, therefore, Parasya Drishyashraya Bhutam Ekam Sat, Ekam Satyam, Prapurnam, that which is itself fulfilling. The resting place of the seen world, the objectifiable world, is the unseen but knowable Atma, myself alone, which is Prapurna, contented, non-complaining, non-judgmental, fulfilled. And then what does it do? Pravibhati. It shines. Oh, it shines. Where does it shine? How does it shine? How can I look at it? Arupam. It is formless. You cannot look at it. You can just be it. You can be identified with it. So this is the difference between what? Agya and Vigya. And this is very beautiful. We'll do the 19th one also. It is very nice because it has the eternal fight between, it addresses the eternal fight between two things, fate and free will. Fate is luck. Yeah. Fate and free will. People ask, what is stronger? So is fate stronger or free will stronger? This means we don't understand what is called fate. We don't understand fate. What is fate? Karma phala, right? Karma phala is what we call fate. And so then, What is this karma phala? Who results of action? Results of whose action? Yours, not the neighbor's, correct? Your own action. And so those actions, when did you do them? Maybe in the last life, or maybe in this life. I don't know. You can say. So these actions which you have done, how did you do them? Through the exercise of free will, correct? So where is fate? Where is this thing called fate? If that which is fate is the results of your own action done by utilizing the free will, by harnessing the free will, where is it called fate? No, but I don't have any control. So basically, the free will of the past life becomes the fate of this life. Interesting. And the free will of this life becomes the fate of next life. This is exactly how to look at it. And he has a very interesting take. Let us chant. Vidhev prayatnasya cha kopi vadaha. Vidhev prayatnasya cha kopi vadaha. Tayor moolam ajanatam syat. Tayor moolam ajanatam syat. Vidhev prayatnasya cha moolavasthu. Vidhev prayatnasya cha moolavasthu. Sanjanatam naiva vidhirnayatnaha. Sanjanatam naiva vidhirnayatnaha. Vidhev prayatnasya cha kopi vadaha. Tayor moolam ajanatam syat. Vidhev prayatnasya cha moolavasthu. Sanjanatam naiva vidhirnayatnaha. Vidhehe, of this thing called fate. Okay? Prayatnasya. Prayatna means what? Of yatna, free will, action. Fate and free will. So yatna here stands for free will. Vidhehe prayatnasya cha kopi vadaha. Any talk. Vada means a discussion, a debate. A debate between fate and free will is what is initiated by tayoho dvayoho moolam ajanatam. Ajanatam, by the ones not knowing. Not knowing what? Tayoho dvayoho, of these two. Which two? Fate and free will. Moolam, the root. The people who don't know the root of fate and free will keep discussing about fate and free will. Oh, it is not my karma. Oh no, it is my karma. It is my karma. What to do? I have to take it. It is my karma. And the other one says, no, I don't believe in karma. It's all free will. It's all free will. Come on. Get up. Go after this. You have to be a, what is that word? Go-getter. Go get it. And then, take the fate by the horns. Spin it around. And then throw it on the side. And then, be brave. Be courageous. And then they will quote the Bhagavad Gita. Uddharet atmana atmanam natmanam avasadayet atmaiva hi atmano bandhuhu atmaiva ripurhu atmanah. You are your best friend. You are your worst foe. Pick up yourself by yourself. What is this? You're just crying and wallowing in this whole idea about fate. Some people say like this. This is one kind of a discussion about fate. The other kind is, if it is supposed to come, let it come to me. Flat affect, okay? Let it come to me. We invite them to a Vedanta lecture. Mera bulawa nahi aaya hai. My calling has not come, literally. Calling has not come. Who is going to call? Okay? Yeah. Who is going to call? Well, in fact, it is a slap on your face. You are inviting them. You are calling them right then. And they are saying, nobody is calling me. My calling hasn't come. And then they will get all philosophical. What will they say? If I am supposed to study Vedanta, then it will just come to me. I think it is not some kind of a, what is that, enlightened attitude at all. It is laziness, it is tamas. I will even accept that. If the same person had the same attitude towards lunch, I will accept that. If I am supposed to eat, let the food come to me. If you had the same attitude, no problem. Then at least you are consistent. But every other thing, a person pursues with great gusto. When it comes to the most important thing, letting go of the self-ignorance. If the Guru wants, let the Guru call. Guru should choose me. In every Upanishad, who goes to the teacher? Student. Does the teacher go to the student? No, not in any tradition does the teacher go to the student. If ever somebody comes and says, be my student, run far away from them. I'm telling you that. If anybody comes after that, you are supposed to go. Because who has the problem of self-ignorance? Me. I have to go. It's not that the teacher is coming looking, you, where are you? This is not a college, high school prom, okay? Yeah. I want to be chosen one. This is something you have to choose. All this is a kind of a strange spiritual romanticism. And so here, this is what is said about this fate and free will. Always the two people, the people who kind of go more on this side of the fate and people who go on this side of free will, on this continuum, they are always at loggerheads. They say, I am better. See, now this is because of fate. Everything is because of karma. You got this job, it is because of karma. No, I worked myself off. No, it's still because of karma. And the other one says what? There is no karma. It's all, there is no this thing. It's all just hard work. There is no karma at all. It's all effort. So these two will never, they are like parallel lines. They will never meet. They will never be able to resolve this. And the one that is able to resolve is the one who knows the moola, the truth of both of them. What is the truth of both of them? The truth of both of them is the I, which sustains the due worship. This is very beautiful. The I, the aham, the atma, which morphs as though, morphs into the doer. And then what? Does all the things and says, yes, hard work, that is what pays off. And the same Atma, as though morphs into Bhokta, the recipient of the results of action, and says it is all karma. Same one. That I, which is free of karma, free of being karta, free of being bhokta, free of doership, kartritvam, free of bhoktritvam, receivership, the one who is that is the one who is the truth of free will and fate. Free will and fate depend upon the Atma. They are both mithya. What is Satyam? Atma, I is Satyam. So therefore, mithya cannot touch Satyam. Sanjanatam, the one who knows this, naiva vidhihi. Where is fate? I don't see it. Where is free will? I don't see that either. All that is there is me. Very beautiful. Let's take a 10-minute stretch break and then we'll come back. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you.
Is fate seen as Prarabdha karma?
Yes. Yes, it is. Bye.